But the person, if Biden doesn't make it, or excuse me, if he doesn't run for a second term, which I'd be surprised that he does, excuse me, my guess is Kamala Harris will want to run for president, but she's going to be countered by Gavin Newsom, our governor. And it doesn't matter which party you are a part of, and I would say even if you're a socialist or, even on the far right and you're a fascist or a libertarian, it doesn't really matter what party you are. To not see that guy's talent is to not know what talent is. Gavin Newsom has had his eye on, I would say, the top job in the corporation since he was mayor of San Francisco. He's backed by the Getty family, which is as powerful as it gets, right? Getty Images, right? I mean, almost every image you see in the newspaper is a Getty image, right? I mean, they help bankroll them anyways.
Plus, they've got all the access to the publication. So
absolutely to the meat, right? So they help bankroll him, to get his first business started. It's called Plump Jack Wineries or Plump Jack Vineyard, something like that up in Napa. But in any case, if you watch one of his press conferences, just watch him. If you get a chance to watch him for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, Gavin Newsom can stand there, and he's worked his way up, right? I mean, there's no doubt about it. Mayor to lieutenant. I mean, at 44, he was ready to run for governor. Jerry Brown entered the race, and he said, well, I guess I'll be lieutenant governor, right? So he's been lieutenant governor for 8 years, biding his time, obviously learning. But you watch that guy talk. I think he's 53 right now. He'll stand in front of cameras, right? In the middle of a burned out, forest, right? Stand in front of TV cameras with no notes and talk to you for 10 minutes straight and keep you engaged the whole time, right? Mm-hmm. That's talent, right? That's real talent. And, literally just wait till the rest of the country gets to look at him, right? I mean, we know what he literally looks like, sounds like, but wait till the rest of the women in the country get to see what he looks like, right? I mean, it does not help that the guy looks like a model, right? I mean, literally it does not help. And I'm saying that as opinion, but there's actually a certain amount of, the graduate university I went to actually was big in this, that the economics department was big in doing this research. It's called, and I'm sure you know exactly what I'm about ready to talk about, Nicholas, is they researched a chemical in the brain called, it's called, I won't say oxy, what's the feel-good chemical? I'm sure you guys would have learned
Serotonin, yeah.
It's not serotonin. It's another one. It's called oxy. The guy that does the research at the university I went to, his name is Paul Zach in economics. It's called something tocin, something like that.
Oxytocin, yeah.
What's it called?
I'm pretty sure it's oxytocin.
Isn't oxytocin a drug? No, that's OxyContin.
Yeah,
right?
that's OxyContin.
Oxytocin. So there we go. Oxytocin, yeah. It's the feel-good drug, right? In other words, people respond to, for example, happy people, right? And these are things that you know, neuropsychology, right? Mm-hmm. People respond to a smile. If you make someone feel good, they'll respond to you, right? Yeah. Well, I mean, just look at Gavin Newsom. He smiles when he talks. He can be very serious. He's very rational. He knows policy just inside and out. Like nobody's business. And he's been forced to, I think, learn how to speak without notes because he's actually dyslexic, right? Mm. So he's had to work to understand. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's had to work to really understand stuff.
Is he by trade? Is he a lawyer?
Gavin Newsom went to Santa Clara University. Okay. And he played baseball. His dad was a judge, I think, in the city. And that's kind of what brought him into politics in general. But he's been dialed in since day one. You see that
his dad's been grooming him.
Well, I would say he's been grooming himself. That's how he strikes me.
Yeah.
But you see Gavin Newsom at 35 is when he was mayor of San Francisco. I'm not kidding you. He looks like a GQ model, right? I mean, now he looks, and it literally matters, right? Because people like that, their attractiveness, right? Yeah. And I personally think Gavin Newsom is well aware of it, even though he doesn't ever let on to it, right?
Well, I think to your point, I think that's probably why he's been working on himself. I'm sure he knew he was entering a game and he was going to have a stigma against him, and self-development is probably his way of being like, okay, yeah, but there's way more underneath the surface.
I'm not just a pretty face, right?
Yeah.
But also, if he's smart, right, he says, I know I got a pretty face, right? But I got to do the work to win.
Exactly.
Right? I got to do I got to do what it takes to actually win. And so, in my view, if I had to guess, if we did this again in 4 or 5 years, I wouldn't be shocked if Gavin Newsom's in number one is in the White House, right? It wouldn't blow me away. But number two, if Biden doesn't win and instead it's Trump, right, that ends up winning, God help us all, right? If he wins re-election, right, then like today, Gavin Newsom is the face of the Democratic Party, right? And he is the counterbalance for the whole country. I mean, basically for the whole country. I mean, it's just a matter of time, right? I mean, he's already said we're the most anti-Trump state, in the United States, right? And, he is, I mean, you just got to watch the guy. I mean, he's a new Democrat, we were talking about FDR earlier, and you got to be careful when you start comparing people with FDR, right? But we've got big enough problems if people are willing to address them. Global warming is one of them. So all the size of the military, the troops all over all over the world, the bases all over the world. The fact that these nonstop wars, just on and on and on. We've had 100 separate military wars or operations just since 1945. Not one of them declared as required by the United States Constitution. 30 of them that have taken place just since the turn of the century, right? So, I mean, this is a major issue, right? That's, the empire is just draining the republic, right? Or, we're financing the empire, but, you guys pay $50,000 to go to school. Right, I mean that's how those things are. Right, it's guns and butter. Right,
yeah.
We're turning plowshares into swords when we need to be turning swords into plowshares. So if anyone ever wants to address that issue, right, that's a major issue, right? But there's major issues, and you need someone that has got real talent, that is pragmatic, that can talk to everybody, and that is, Gavin Newsom. I don't know that people really see it, but Gavin Newsom has actually got not only is he forward thinking and he shut down California before any state shut down, right? But he's got the will to do things that are unpopular, right? And that is a sign. That is one of many signs of a good politician, right? You can't just be, and it's really one of the signs of someone that will stand out eventually, right? You've got to be willing to go against popular opinion, right? And he's done it. He's done it multiple times.
And I think also to his favor, I don't think he comes off as where I would say like he's not the showboaty kind of like overly exuberant politician. Like, I mean, if you can want to even call Donald Trump a politician, he's a public figure more than anything.
He's a real estate hustler. That's what he is. He's real estate.
A very different vibe from Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
Of like him. I mean, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, he seems like he plays the part really well.
Yeah.
Of like that's what he's like the respectable politician you think you want.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
I would agree 100%. I mean, and who cares what I think to some degree, right? Obviously, but, I didn't, this isn't because, this isn't a party bias, right? I'm neither a Democrat or a Republican, right? So it's, and it doesn't mean I'm an independent either, but, I didn't even vote for Gavin Newsom, right? But I respect him and I see his talent, and if you're put into a situation kind of like we are right now, where you got a choice between the devil or, Joe Biden, right? the choice is pretty obvious, right, to me. And Gavin Newsom, I mean, I do think, excuse me, if he sees this, right, he should give me a job at the state, right?
Yeah, right.
Because I'm definitely,
yeah.
man, I'm definitely selling him here, right? And so, but he's the one person on the American political scene right now that's on the stage that has got what it takes. It's him, man. It is definitely